What's going on, everybody? Cut it all off. Naked mole rat. Baby face, yes. Cut it off. It started to break out down here. I've been putting some biotin, expensive men's beard and skin care with a bunch of vitamins and stuff in it since yesterday morning. It's all starting to go away already. So anyhow, I'm going to work out for a little bit tonight. Didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about anything specific. Rosacea on my face, so my face turns red after shaving. Happy Halloween to y'all. Dana White. Yeah, I don't know about that. Dana White's probably a little more fit than me. Just saying. But as of recently, I feel pretty good, man. I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling healthier. 73 pounds down as of this morning. I feel good. I feel like the guns are coming in. I'm getting back to where I was again, and it just feels amazing. Slow and steady, well, even though everything's happening kind of fast, slow and steady, Figured I'd answer some questions for a little bit before I start working out so I can focus on that, let this thing charge up a little. Yeah, they're growing, man. I've been doing some very strategic workouts and stuff, so it's been working out, so I don't do any kind of crazy heavy weight anymore. What I've been doing is I'll grab like the 45-pound. I don't use creatine. I just eat a lot of red meat. I don't really feel like you need to use creatine as long as you're getting enough quality protein and red meat in your diet. So what basically what I ended up doing is I started doing a lot of high volume stuff where I would use just the bar. So if I'm gonna do like bicep curls and stuff like that, I'll use the bar and I'll do reverse curls where I go like this with the bar, and I'll do reverse curls and I'll do like sets of 15 to 20, and I'll flip it around and I'll do 15 to 20 on the other side, and then I'll grab like something light, like a 10-pound weight, and I'll just sit there in like a hammer position and I'll just go like this with a 10-pound weight. And I'll do it for like 2 minutes. And I'll just jack up the volume in my biceps as much as I possibly can to get them as pumped up as I can. And then I'll give it a minute and I'll do the same thing over again. And then sometimes when I come out here in the morning and I'm not live recording, what I'll do is I'll grab some 10-pound weights. I'll grab a couple 10-pound weights like this here, and I'll just kind of stand in like a slightly bent over position, and I'll focus on just not trying to go super fast, and I'll do like sets of 20 to 30, and I'll just do it over and over again, and then I'll stop there, and I'll come up here, and go out, go back, go down, and I'll do like 20 of these as much as I can. And I'll just sit there and I'll work shoulders for like 20 minutes, just shoulders. Just set after set after set after set. And it's starting to work. It's starting to come together. Somebody else said something talk about the death of the middle class. I don't know. It seems like the middle class now is kind of like the lower class. There's like no middle class anymore. I used to think making $80,000 a year was like something to be really proud of and got you by really far. I used to think, if you made over $30 an hour, you were doing damn good for yourself, and if you got up to 40 or 50, you were climbing up there to where, everybody desired to be. But now you make $40, $50 an hour, and it's like you can still barely make it. You can't make it. It's almost impossible. You got to do stuff like I'm doing here, where I'm doing YouTube and I'm doing TikTok and I'm working at the dealer for 40. We got a new pay rate now or something like that. 43.15 an hour, 46.15 an hour, 43, something like that. New pay rate. And you still struggle. You still can barely buy food. You still can barely pay your bills and stuff like that. You're still barely getting by. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I had a lot of debt coming into this YouTube thing that I'm still kind of like paying off. I was a young kid and I was pretty stupid. Most of that debt I got all paid down, but it's taken me years to get where I'm at now. And I still struggle a little bit from time to time. Not bad. Don't get me wrong. I got 4 vehicles sitting out here. 3 I can drive, and the other one I piddle around and put money into from time to time. But even now, making what I make, I still struggle. And it sucks. Because it's like you got to have 2 people at least making $150,000 to $200,000 a year amongst the 2 of you just to get by and be able to put a little bit away at a time. $80,000 anymore, that ain't shit. That's almost considered lower class now. You're barely getting by. You go to the grocery store, you got 2 kids and a wife, and just say you got a dog. It's $50 to $100 a month in dog food. Then you got to buy them treats and stuff like that, or we buy healthy stuff for the dogs. We don't buy junk. We don't buy super high end either. Don't get me wrong. We're not bougie like that. But then you got it's got school lunches. They got activities they got to go to, sports and stuff like that. They got equipment they got to buy. And then you got to do all the shit at the house. And for God forbid there's an emergency, a furnace goes out, air conditioner goes out. There's 10 grand. The refrigerator goes out. There's another $1,000, $1,200, unless you're buying used on Marketplace somewhere, which I found some good stuff on Marketplace, but a lot of it is shit. A lot of it you get a year or 2 out of, and you got to turn around and replace it anyway. So, to me, it's like the middle class is almost kind of being crushed into the lower class. Appreciate that, Samara. I want to be cheap and put SuperTech on my car. If I do most highway driving, you think changing it every 4K should be fine? Yeah, SuperTech is fine. SuperTech is good oil. It's not the best oil, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube is doing the stuff that they do. Thank you for your well, you're welcome. What's up, Ryan? Brother? Living at home with your parents is the only way to make it these days. I don't fault nobody for living at home with your parents. If I could go back home and live with my parents, that's exactly what I would do. I'm sorry. It's just today living is almost impossible to do it comfortably. Unless you're making $200,000 plus a year. Doesn't exist. It's upper middle to upper, yeah, or lower middle to lower. Yeah, you're right. I agree with Ryan there. You're either at the high end of what middle class would have been, the upper middle, or upper, like he said, or you're lower, and that's just it. There is no like middle class anymore, because it's like they create handouts and assistance and stuff like that for people that don't make a lot of money, and really some people really do need it. So I'm not talking crap about them. But then they penalize all the people that are actually making money and paying into the taxes and stuff like that. So you get taxed on your paycheck. You get taxed on the goods you buy. You get taxed because of the county you live in. You buy a house and you get taxed on the property that you live on. You get taxed on every freaking thing that you buy, you purchase, you earn. It's like they tax upon tax upon tax upon tax. Why? I already paid taxes to the government whenever I bought this shit. Why am I paying taxes every time I turn around? I about shit my pants when I bought a 2016 Chevy Malibu, and the dealer called me and said, "Oh, you live in Cook County. We made a mistake on the paperwork. Because you live in Cook County, it's an extra $1,700 for the taxes on this car." Are you kidding me? Just because I live in Cook County versus Will County, it's $1,700 more dollars in taxes. I about flipped, man. I had to come out of pocket $1,700 in taxes because they had already done the paperwork and finalized everything. So they had to go back and fix it, but there was no way for them to add the money into the. So I just paid it. It's ridiculous, man. The amount of stuff that we have to deal with as working class people, and they continually get away with it. And now they're talking about adding more money here and more money there. The roads in Illinois were supposed to be done and taken care of years ago. It was only supposed to be a 10, 15, 20-year plan. It's been going on longer than that. And they're still taking money. They're still taking tolls. It's like 900... If somebody could Google it real quick, is it like $900 million or $900,000 a day in tolls? Or I forget what it is. It was some astronomical number where it was like $900,000 a day in toll through Illinois. Or is it No, it's got to be $900,000 a day. It was something like that. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's like $7 million a week in tolls, and we can't get the roads. We're 20 years later, we're still taking care of the roads. This is unreal. When am I moving out of state? I want to move out of state, but unfortunately, my wife and my daughter they're tied here. I am a little bit not as bad as them. My daughter's in a really good school. She's got a lot of really good friends. So I suspect that I'll probably be here at least another couple years. I got to figure out what's going on with her school, things like that. I just don't want to take my daughter away from her social life and make my problems and how I feel with this state her problems. So I'm just trying to deal with it the best that I can. Lynn? Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. $10 for the 20-ounce ribeye. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Oh, God. With all love and respect, you need to move back south, like Mississippi. Good techs make good money down here, and the price living is way lower than the blue states. Yeah, I know. You're right. Best undercoating for an F-150 to prevent rust. I used fluid film the last couple times I coated, and I really liked it. I would say I like the way Surface Shield applies better because it dries faster and it doesn't stay as wet, but fluid film works good as well. Wool wax, any of them, they work good. Jason, born free tax today. It's being rewritten. There are a large group of upper and huge lower. Yeah. Gas tax now is relative to the rate of inflation. Small hat people. Taxes in Illinois are the worst, especially Cook County. Come move to Kankakee County. I lived down in Kankakee for a while, and although there is some peaceful living down there, I didn't care for it in some areas. But then again, there's really nothing wrong with living in Kankakee County. There's a lot of small town living in some areas, and that's where I found the most peace. So I do like Kankakee for sure. Yeah, self-employed, make decent money, and I cringe when my taxes are due. I wouldn't mind paying taxes so much if our government wasn't so damn irresponsible, sending billions to other countries. I agree. Out my check, Rich, they take at least 120 per week. 120 per week in what? Shit, my check? Every 2 weeks, I probably make around, I don't know what it comes out to. It comes out to like $3,400 or something like that, $3,500. And they take over $1,000 out of my check. With benefits, taxes, federal, state, I lose $1,000 right off the top. It's just getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. Now I shave my beard, it makes it look like you can trust me working on your car. Since when 294 was put in. How much are you paying for your car insurance? So The F-150, the Suburban, and the Sierra, I got a really good deal on my cars. I've had a good driving record for a long time, and I've got a multi-line discount because I got homeowners insurance on it and whatever else it is. For the cars, I think I only pay like $225 a month, and that's full coverage on the F-150, and I think liability on the Suburban and the Sierra. So you drive to Chicago for work, work to drive just to make it. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's nowadays things are crazy for people. I was just seeing that 2 federal judges found in favor of adding SNAP benefits to from the what is it? I don't know what it was. They're pulling from some kind of emergency fund that the Trump administration, and 2 federal judges just ruled in favor of them using the funds to send people out benefits and stuff tomorrow. You know, aside from what party you follow and who you're most interested in, I think it's absolutely ridiculous in how they treat people in general. This dog and pony show, shit show going back and forth between the two. They've been to the table or had a chance to go to the table 14 different times, and all 14 times couldn't come up with a resolution. That's got to automatically point you guys in the direction that somebody's playing games here. They're using human lives as leverage. And if this isn't any more of a reason at this point to disband our government and start a new government, I don't know what is. At this point, they literally spit in your face and told you you're going to deal with it. How many times has the Democrats come out over the last couple of weeks and clearly said, this is leverage for us? Human lives are leverage for us. Almost exactly to that verbatim, to that verbiage. Human lives are leverage for us at this point. Doing what we're doing is leverage. If we give that up, then we give everything up. So at this point, it almost seems to me like we don't have a government. They're literally doing whatever they want. Whatever they want. And we have no say on either side. Yeah, you're right, Chris. We have too many factors in America that would become a free-for-all. Did y'all see that video of the dude from Texas that had unmarked officials roll up at his house? Did you get to see what happened? He was out front of his house recording, and these officers in plain clothes rolled up with bulletproof vests and stuff on, and all their gear and their guns and stuff like that. And the guy comes up to him and tells him, he's like, hey, why are you here at my house? Why are you soliciting? And he says something along the lines of, well, you made some pretty rough statements about Israelis, or, you know, the group of Israelis or something on the internet, and it was a flag for us, and we need to come pay a visit and ask some questions about why this happened. And the guy says, so I don't have freedom of speech? You know what you're doing right now is basically soliciting, right? Why are you on my property? I don't have to explain anything to you. Get off of my property and get out of here. Go on about your business. And he actually had to shoo them off of his property because he made comments about Israel on the internet, and it started to take off and get really popular. They actually had officers show up at his house to question him about the things that he was saying online about Israel. If that doesn't tell you right there that we have a problem in this country where the government has overstepped, the Constitution's going to come into play real soon, it seems like. It seems like we're going to have to do what it takes real soon to take our country back, because whenever people start showing up at your house questioning you about what you're saying about the politics in another country, that's bad. That's real bad. It's not good. And the thing about it is, regardless of what everybody thinks, they literally own everything that we have. They own the investment companies. They own the media, all networks. They own the banking system. They have rights to the currency. They can change and do whatever they want, whenever they want to do it. And we've allowed this to happen. We've given them too much power. And they literally control everything. They control the big corporations and companies out here. A lot of these corporations and companies are all tied back to Jewish bred and owned families. So regardless if y'all realize it or not, we're not pulling the strings here. All they're doing is just switching around faces in that seat, and they're controlling all the organized chaos behind the scenes, and we're just playing along with it. Caffeine? I haven't had any caffeine today. I didn't even get to drink my coffee this morning. Just drinking straight water. I had what did I have for lunch? I didn't eat lunch because I didn't eat lunch because I was feeling nauseous, and I drank water. For dinner, I had a can of beets, and I had about a pound of chopped chuck roast, marinated in what do they call it? Mojito sauce. It's like the chipotle sauce. And then drank some more water, and then I had I had two yogurts. Two Chobani 20-gram yogurts for lunch. That's what I had with my water because my stomach didn't feel very good. And then for dinner I had the the pound of, not even a pound, it's probably only 3/4 of a pound of cube steak with just a little bit of shredded cheese on top of it, no bread, no nothing. Put it in the microwave for about a minute and a half so the cheese melted a little bit, and I just ate the steak right out of the container. That's what I had. That was my water, and that today is all I had all day. And I'm still drinking water, so no caffeine. Oh, I have a lot more energy, man. And since I started losing all the weight, I've lost over 70 pounds in the last, 3.5 months. It's been, yeah, my energy's up. Everything's up. Let's just leave it at that. Everything. Oh man, I don't even know. I could probably hit like 365, maybe, if you give me about a month and let me continue working this shoulder out, because I've had like feels like a pinched nerve or a muscle or something, but as I've been doing these shoulder workouts, it's getting better. Probably 405-ish. I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I'm okay. I mean, I do all right. I could probably, like if I got on there right now and warmed up a little bit, I could probably hit 225 about 15 to 20 times. This shoulder's been giving me a lot of problems. And when I go to sit back in that all the way retracted position, because I don't do the half reps like some of these guys do, it hurts. So I'm fighting through that right now and not trying to overdo it. Yeah, I'm probably going to need some kind of skin removal surgery, but I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying to add some more calories every other day. So I'll try to go from like 100, 125 grams of protein to almost 250 grams of protein. I'll break that up between protein and fat, just to slow down the amount of weight that I'm losing. And I typically try to do that on days that I work harder, and it is working. I went from losing like, I don't know, I want to say like close to, I would say 7 to 10 pounds a week. So now I'm shooting more for like 4 to 5, maybe 6 pounds max a week. So I've kind of brought it back a little bit and increased my calories, trying to work out harder too, which inflammation's up at that point. And when you're eating a lot of meat and it takes time for your body to process everything. It also takes time for you to get it out of your system longer. Whereas if I had a bunch of fibrous veggies and stuff, I can eat it right now and I'd be shitting my brains out by 6 o'clock in the morning. So I need slower digesting things in my body because of the amount of working out that I've been doing, so my body can process, break things down, rebuild muscle tissue and stuff like that. So I'm trying to slow it down. But you know what, at the end of the day, who cares about the skin? Because I'd rather be healthier and skinnier and strong than fatter and just a glob of shit like I was 3.5 months ago. I'm not ever going to be back or go back to that person again. It's just not going to happen. I've lost too much of my life and I've hurt myself too much by being in that position for way too long. So I had a wake-up call and I'll never go back. I do a lot of fasting as well. Yeah, man, you know, working on cars, regardless of who you are, there are some guys that can work on cars and have been working on cars their whole life, and they have no problem. But the majority of guys that have worked on cars for more than 20 years, they're hurting, man. Their elbows hurt, their hands hurt, their knees, their back, their hips hurt. They're just all beat up. Super smart guys can work on anything pretty much, just all beat up. Have I ever tried a 48-hour fast? Oh yeah, man. I did a 48-hour fast like a week and a half ago. It was easy. The fasting part for me that was hard was I made it to my 7th day a couple years ago, and I lost like 30 some pounds in 7 days. But I had nothing but water and bone broth. And by like the 7th and a half day, I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. I could have. I was losing focus, and I was just not mentally there anymore. I was giving up. The job's good. I'm just kind of like hurt right now. So I go back, not this Monday, but the following Monday, more than likely. They told me they want me to finish with physical therapy completely before I come back. Oh yeah, I know a lot of thin people have issues, just like a lot of people with high cholesterol and stuff like that actually live very normal lives, very long lives until they're 70, 80, 90 years old, and they never have issues because there hasn't been enough studies done outside of the bought and paid for studies on cholesterol. You have a certain group of people called hyper-responders. Hyper-responders typically do have 2 to 3 times the amount of cholesterol level that normal people have, what we consider a healthy range. And these people are athletes, they're triathletes, they're marathon runners, they're bicyclists, and they eat extremely healthy. They work out all the time, and they're very fit. Yet when they get their cholesterol and stuff checked, it's through the roof. It makes them look like they're an extremely unhealthy person. They're called hyper-responders, and those people are very healthy. So there's a lot of stuff in health in general that we don't understand, and that we haven't actually put into groups and studied enough to say, well, if you have super high cholesterol and stuff like that and you're a fat sack of shit, then obviously there's an issue here. But if you're somebody that's eating very clean all the time, doesn't show that you really have a genetic issue or anything like that, and you don't have any problems, and it seems that you're functioning fine, your heart rate and everything's fine, blood sugar and all that's fine, then should I really be concerned with how high this guy's cholesterol is? Because it's not just him. There are thousands of other people just like him in the same boat. And let's just take me, for example. It took me getting up to 370 pounds in order for me to start registering a pre-diabetic A1C level. All the way into the 200s, into the early 300s, mid 300s, I never had an A1C over 4.7, 4.8. Once I started getting 360, 370, the A1C went up 5.8, and the doctor said that's not even that bad. It's kind of pre-diabetic, but you can reverse that really easy. Now, had you have done this in a pre-diabetic state for the next 2 or 3 years, you probably would have done some really serious damage. But at this point, everything, all your labs check out to be super healthy. As much as you were overweight, you're actually very healthy being overweight, which is surprising because you don't normally see people like that all the time in that condition. So I don't think we actually understand as much as we think we do about health in general. I think we've got a lot more to learn, and there's a lot of skewed and biased paid for studies that are funded by people that have an interest in whatever the adverse effect is of the outcome or the positive effect is of the outcome, and that's the people that are going to benefit the most off of this, not our health. Just like when Canada flipped the food pyramid or the plate, they had all these grains and shit on top, this huge, big, like genetically modified and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, are you fucking kidding me? How is that healthy? That can't be healthy. But it's their government screwing with stuff, just like our government screwing with us. Appreciate it, Chris. No, let me get in this on this live stream. I have to end the live stream and then bring you back on. You're gonna have to be on with me at the same time. And I'm gonna have a schedule to tell you, hey, this is what I need you to be ready at this time. Unfortunately, I didn't know what was going on tonight because we went out trick-or-treating. The girls got their trick-or-treating done. We came home, I watched the baby for a while, and I finally found some time to sneak away for a little bit so I can come to the garage, decompress. You know, I've been with the baby all day, decompress, talk to you guys a little bit. You know, unless I'm thinking about Jay at that point, the live stream, it really ain't happening. I look like Steve Wilkos. Okay. I feel like mental pain is worse than physical pain. Oh, sure it is. Well, my metabolic rate, when I went and got it tested, I was 260 pounds, 270 pounds. I was in the gym all the time. I was pretty solid, even though I was a big boy. I was pretty solid, though. And when I went and got hooked up with all the oxygen mask, the sensors on my hands, on my chest, I came in fasted, only drank water that morning. And they said after a half-hour session of being hooked up to this computer and everything, monitoring all my levels and stuff in a completely static state, sitting in a chair in a calm room with some just light classic music on, my body not being excited, my heart rate being very normal, blood pressure being normal, all that. They had me to sustain the weight that I was at, they said I would have had to have had upwards of like 3,500 calories. And I was like, are you kidding me? What? He said, yeah, your metabolic rate is extremely high. You can process calories very, very well for a large guy, but to stay the strength and the weight that you're at right now, you'd have to have like this many calories to just be like where you're at in your position of strength, fat, muscle, whatever. This is the amount of calories that you'd have to just stay where you're at. If you want to cut, start with like 400 or 500 calories at a time, calories in versus calories out. But then even at that, that's still not a completely accurate way of approaching weight loss. Some people can't be in a 400 or 500. So if somebody goes and gets a metabolic rate test, how many calories it takes for them to sustain their weight loss. They pay all this money, right? A couple $100 or whatever it is to have this test done. They find out their metabolic rate, and then they turn around and they cut their calories by 1,000 calories. Well, that 3,400 calories becomes 2,400 calories. Do you think at 2,400 calories that person's really going to start losing weight right away? They just said your rate at what you're at right now is 3,400 calories. But if you went down to 2,400 calories, I bet you'd start seeing a lot of weight loss, right? No, not necessarily. It comes down to the quality of what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, when you're eating, how much sleep you're getting, where your hormones and stuff are at. There's so many factors that go into this, and then sometimes the body, when it detects that you're not eating as much food as you normally do, because it's been so used to it for so long, goes into this protective mode where instead of it actually taking nutrients and turning it into things that your body can use, it does that at the minimal level and then starts storing everything else. So it just all depends on the person. Calories in versus calories out doesn't work for everybody, especially somebody with a metabolic condition. It's more about the quality of food that you're putting in your mouth and then the amount of calories. I've heard Mike O'Hearn, such an idiot sometimes when he talks about stuff. And then who's that other young guy, bodybuilder, young guy? He's in his early to mid 20s. He's got the curly hair and he's all jacked. He's on roids real bad. And it looks like he's got acne all over his body. I forget the guy's name. But I called him out on it too. He was like telling people that was watching the show, he's like, oh, calories in versus calories out. Calories in versus calories out. And I was like, you guys are the biggest fucking clowns ever. You don't actually understand how it works. You know how to put a needle in your arm and have at it. You know how to throw around a bunch of weights and stuff and have at it. But you're not living your life and eating to be healthy like these other people. You're eating and living your life to be as big and jacked as much as possible. And you're starting out on a good foundation with good information on how to get to where you want to be. But because you're big and strong, that means you can turn around and tell everybody else how to live their life, that this is going to be effective for them. It's almost a joke sometimes listening to those guys. Calories in versus calories out is not an adequate way of approaching weight loss. It's first looking at somebody's lifestyle, figuring out how they live, the types of stresses and stuff that they have in their life, how they're eating, what their physical activity and stuff is. There's a whole like realm of things that need to be rolled into it to make a lifestyle change. And these other guys don't factor in a lot of that stuff because they're just a face that other guys want to be like. And they don't want to know any better than what they're telling them. I have to salvage my husband's town car that broke down. I wish you were close by. I'd just give it to you. Where are you at? Wait a second. Salvage it? No. Well, they're getting there. They're looking better, but they're not chiseled. I appreciate that. Tell your wifey to kiss your head. My grandma says bald men are lucky. Bye, boss. In California, it's 7 time for trick or treat. Ah, yeah, we just got done. It was 4 to 7 here. Oy, Elk County, Pennsylvania. That's kind of far. That is kind of far. He died? Your husband? Wait a second. Did I read that right? You said my husband's town car. Ah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. Man, that sucks. That sucks. I wish I'd give you a hug right now. I'd give you a hug. I'm really sorry. Yeah, stress equals cortisol overload. Metabolism inefficiency, inflammatory responses dip, and immune system functions. Absolutely. I made a blanket. I used to make things for people, so there's some things that you all don't know about me. Renee goes back with me like, am I saying it? It's, did I have a problem with this before? Is it Renee? I think it's Renee, right? Anyway, I hope I'm saying it right. It's been a while. But she goes back with me like this. Y'all remember what do they say? Goes back like Ajax or something like that. She's known me longer than any of you guys have, way before the automotive channel. So there's her, and then there's another lady on here, Angela Patton. She gets on here sometimes and she'll watch. And then also there's another lady on here, Nona Grace. She's the grandma to everybody. She's just a wonderful person and has some of the most amazing heartfelt stories, like a homestead old lady. She's just wonderful. She always makes me smile when I'm mad and stuff like that. I can put her videos on. It makes me happy. They've known me probably longer, I think for sure longer than anybody on this channel has. And we go way back. I actually made a blanket and sent it to her. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ladies man, no, I'm not a ladies man. I just I used to help a lot of people out before the mechanic stuff took off. And then when the mechanic stuff took off, I was like, there's too much competition and drama in the health space, the keto space. So if you guys don't know about me, before this, I lost a bunch of weight. I started getting super healthy. I started going to all these seminars and stuff. I started learning as much as I possibly could. I started like putting on shows at like not shows, but like talking little informational pieces at like libraries in front of other adults that wanted to learn about alternative ways to lose weight and health. And I just stopped applying those things to my life. Once I got married, once I met my wife, I started to fall apart because I got comfortable and I was blaming everybody else other than myself. And then I finally realized that after a little bit of a medical scare, that I'm the problem. It's not them, it's me. I'm the problem. It's not the choices that they're making that I need to accept. It's the choices that I'm making that I need to accept. So once I figured that out and I kind of got my butt back in gear, I've been really serious about it. You guys know from like the last 3.5 months that I've been checking in with you guys every day. I'm not screwing up. I'm not making mistakes. I'm trying to be here for the long haul. And yeah, so I did a bunch of videos about my childhood, and that's how a lot of people met me, is through connection of kind of having a rough childhood and having to make it when everybody else thinks that you're not, and when the odds are stacked against you, you still pull through and make something of yourself. Happy Halloween. Yes, Rich did shave. Ladies man. Ladies man. not a ladies man, just an honest man. Not Jasper, Alabama. I'm actually from Illinois, but I spent a big portion of my life down in Arkansas, Louisiana. I was in the military down in Louisiana. I got family down in Haleyville, Alabama, and then I got some family in Texas and some family in Mexico, but they're distant families, family I don't even talk to. Favorite food that I miss from the South? One of the top foods that I miss from the South is boudin. People call it boudin, but I don't say it that way. I call it boudin. Love that stuff, especially the deep fried boudin balls, and then also the gumbo and crawfish etouffee. I love that. Um, and crawfish in general. That's what I miss from the South. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. But, that's not healthy food, and I quit eating that stuff. Oxtails? Oxtails, yes, delicious. Black pudding? I don't know if I've had black pudding, but I've had chocolate gravy. Chocolate gravy, strawberry gravy, apple gravy. Oh, Chris, I appreciate that. Jenna thanks you. We ordered some as well, and that double good popcorn, even though it's expensive for the smaller bags, it's delicious. I love the flavors. I absolutely love the flavors. See, even that right there, like I'm on a little bit of an incline. Even that right there, I feel it in my shoulder. It just sucks. It hurts. It aggravates the shoulder. Shit, man, I tried doing the Asian diet. I gained freaking 20 pounds in a damn month. All the rice and stuff every day. Hell no. I couldn't control myself. The food tasted so damn good, I just kept eating it. We actually had at Brighton, when I was the general manager there, we had access to a facility that they had a kitchen in it, and they had their own chefs that made people lunch every day at work. So you didn't have to buy lunch. You could just get it from work. And it was basically catered to you for $5 for a big giant tray. And it had like duck meat in it. It had like broccoli teriyaki, beef teriyaki stuff. It had a giant cup of soup that went with it, and like there was a freaking half pound of rice in it. It was outrageous, man. Just the amount of food in one tray. And I went like a month of doing nothing but eating that food and that food only at lunch. I ate no dinner or no breakfast, and I gained weight from all the sauces and carbs and stuff, and that amount of rice. I can't do it. It's just a lot. Lost 15 pounds. Yeah, I mean, I have heard people say they go to other countries and they just eat whatever they want and they lose weight like crazy because they don't have all the garbage and stuff in their food that we have here in the United States. I had a friend that went to Mexico. She was on a keto diet and she had lost like 40 pounds. And she wanted to go to Mexico and just enjoy herself with her family because she was going to be around relatives and stuff that they were in Mexico. And she went down there for a month and came back, lost 15 pounds in a month, eating whatever she wanted. Because she said there it's the most fresh food. It's no junk in their products. It's just everything is just super clean. And she lost weight. She didn't have to be on a keto diet when she was down there, but coming back to the United States, she had to go right back to it because she started gaining the weight back right away. Yeah, that's the shoulder. The shoulder's just acting up. It's acting crazy. It's just going down. I can feel it right towards the bottom. I feel it pinching right in the joint. Well, we'll push through. I don't know. All I know is that I read an article before I jumped on here a little while ago. Jay said something to me about, he said something to me about it, and I looked it up, and all I seen was that 2 federal judges had demanded that they tap into their emergency funds to fund SNAP, which also in return means that they may not get all of the money that they normally get because there's not enough money to fund everybody's SNAP, is what the article said. So I don't know if it's true. I don't know how it's going to happen. I know that I already had a lady reach out to me tonight. She's a local grandma. She's got custody of her 5 grandkids, and she needs help really bad. So I'm going to actually go to Costco tomorrow, get a bunch of pork butts and stuff like that, smoke them, get them out to the family, or anybody else in need, try to help with some food. Because regardless, like I said, regardless of what political party you believe in, or you, whatever it is that you believe, people in general that need help with food shouldn't go hungry. And I'll die on that bed. There are people out there that do need help. There are people like this grandma, where their kids have actually died or ended up in prison or something like that, and they're taking care of their children, raising them. That they do need help, and they just don't have it, and they get penalized for all the other stupid stuff people do. So I want to help people like that. I want to help our elderly. I want to help our veterans. So I want to help, black families and lower income communities and stuff like that are trying to do better, but are just having a hard time doing it. I don't care, a conservative or whatever it is that you believe, that doesn't mean you can't be a human being, But I also draw a fine line between being a human being and caring about our people here, and being a human being and letting illegals come in here and get more assistance than the people that were already here, which is completely wrong to me. I'm not doing a lot of reps tonight just because of the shoulder. I'm gonna do 5, 5, 5, 5. Just get a nice little push and be done with bench. Where are we at? Oh shit, no way. Randy, are you serious? I didn't know that. I did not know that. I need to take a drive down by the Jewel just to see what's going on, or the Walmart, because supposedly people said if they don't get their benefits tomorrow, they're just going to go to the stores and they're going to take their food, and you're not going to stop them. So don't get in their way. And you know what? I'm not defending food, and I'm not defending property. I know what Second Amendment rights are and what the law states. The law states you have no right to defend property at all in the state of Illinois. If you defend property, it's not something that is part of your well-being. So in that instant, if you're not in your home is not really, it's your domain, it's your dwelling, right? So if somebody breaks into your garage and is stealing stuff out of your garage, you just can't go out there and shoot them. You actually have to report it right away, take as much video and photo and stuff as possible from a safe location. And you gotta call and you gotta report it. There's really nothing you can do about it. And if you do, you're gonna get convicted. Property theft is not an excusable offense. So if you come out and hurt somebody and put them in the hospital or make them bedridden for the rest of their life or take their life, you're going to get prosecuted for it and you're going to be found guilty. So in general, defending property isn't worth it because that's why we have insurance. Now, defending your home and you're in it and you've retreated to a safe room and somebody's coming in and you give them that warning, I'm going to shoot, or they're already banging and kicking on the door and they bust it in and you're right there and you take action, that's justifiable. But property in general is not. People stealing stuff from a grocery store and stuff, that's not. That's why they make security professionals for that stuff. It's not our job to defend that. Elaine, thanks for being here. Drag them in the house. Shoot their ass in the foot, drag them in the house, and finish the business there. Ain't nobody gonna know nothing. This guy. Yeah, shit. Yeah. Oh, damn. Oh, man. Shh. Ah. 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 You know what? Loading it up feels a little better than going light. Loading it up, it feels like it actually feels better. Okay. I hate politics and how it becomes people's entire personality. I'll agree with you on that, 1,000%. You know, what would you guys have done? Listen to this. God's the honest truth. Happened tonight. We're out trick-or-treating, right? I'm trailing behind the girls so I can kind of watch and see what's going on. I try to keep them safe. I don't sit right on top of them or with them. I actually stand 3 or 4 feet back, unless I got to hold the baby or something like that, you know? We're going up to all these houses, and this lady comes out of her house, this old lady. She had to be like 70 years old. She has this bucket of candy, or this big giant Halloween bowl of candy, and she's passing it out. My daughter goes up and she grabs the candy out of the bowl. And she says, before we don't even say anything to the lady yet. She says, we have candy here. They have candy across the street. These people right here next to me, they're antisocial. They've been living there 10 years and I don't even know their name. But they're Trump supporters, so that makes sense. And I'm like, it almost came out of my mouth. But so am I. I mean, and my wife's mother says, she says, but they're Trump supporters, so I don't blame them. And I'm like, what the fuck? What does that have to do with being antisocial? That's what I'm thinking. And then my wife's mother says, I blame them. I don't care. You know, kind of like, she's a Democrat. Whatever. It took everything in my freaking power to not open my mouth and say, what the hell does being antisocial have to do with a fucking political party? Like, how many of you have to live and die by identity politics? Are you that fucking stupid? And that's what I wanted to say, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut and I'm going to wait for the perfect calm opportunity here in a few minutes on this walk. So as the girls walked up to this one house, they knew the lady. Her mom stayed back, and I said, man, that lady just pissed me off. And she said, why? And I used a little bit of a word, what would you call it, psych here. I said, and she said, why did she piss you off? And I said, oh, that shit she just talked about being antisocial. What the hell does that have to do with being a Trump supporter? And I said, I almost opened my mouth. Because that makes no sense. And she said, I know, just let it go. And I said, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? Them people, knowing she's part of that, mind you, and I'm talking to her, them people want everybody else to know what they're pissed off about and what their politics and stuff are. But the other people keep their mouths shut unless they're in an area where everybody kind of feels the same. They're not going around and just telling people. It's pretty fucking sad. And she's like, I know.
Oh man, it just pissed me off. I wasn't thinking about politics. I wanted nothing to do with politics, and here we are, trick or treating, and some fucking random wacko's got to turn it into politics. I wonder how many other families she said that to. In 2004, I unwittingly wandered into a gay bar in Boise. They found out I was Republican, and they didn't care. They were pretty cool. Now they are militant. Oh, I thought you were going to say in 2004 you wandered into a gay bar and you don't remember waking up, but your ass really hurt the next day. I thought that's where this was going, but I'm glad you didn't do that. Appreciate the explanation, though. Maybe some simple shoulder shrugs when you're done with the bench. Get the traps tuned up so they can help with the shoulders. I mean, I'm trying to do all that stuff. You're right. I probably should do more shoulder shrugs, but I'm worried about that with the knee right now. Devoted father to protect your children and give your children some space for safety. I mean, I got to see what's going on and what's coming, and if I'm right on top of them, I can't do that. So. The governor seems to be some weirdo sociopath. You talking about our governor? 1,000%. Haha, I set myself up for that one. I'm just joshing with you, Dusty. I'm just joshing with you. Back when I was young, in my early 20s, I was walking through Naperville and was partying with my buddy. I came back from the military. He was leaving for the military, and we were going through Naperville, Illinois, and there was I told the story the other night. There was a gay guy hanging out of a bar where gay dudes mainly hung out. And as I was walking by with Tommy, I was talking to him. And the gay guy leans out of the bar and smacks me right on my ass. And I turned around like I was going to go back and be like, what the, My buddy was like, nah. You take that as a compliment. Because if you go back in there and start some shit, they are going to whoop your ass. It's a bar full of gay dudes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep walking. Thanks for the ass pat. I'll take that. I ain't stupid like that. I ain't taking that ass whooping. All right. Fucking hurt. This one I feel no pain, no nothing at all. But this one right here is it's holding me back. It's holding me back, man. Try to do some other stuff real quick. Did it jiggle when he smacked it? Nah. Back then I didn't have a jiggly ass. And even now I've lost all my ass, so that's one of the first things that went was my butt, and my legs are getting skinny and my butt. Some of my upper body, but it's more in my lower extremities where I'm losing the weight first. A little bit in my face, a lot in my backside and in my legs. My feet got way smaller. Now I put my feet in my shoes and I can stick my hands next to my feet and I'm like, what the hell? My feet were that fat? They didn't look that fat. Do I stay in touch with any of my Army buddies? No. Is universal coolant really universal? I mean, I've run it before with no issues, but I can't answer that question. I never really looked into it like that. I would say, arguably,
If you're servicing the vehicle at 40 to 60,000 mile intervals, probably so. If you're letting it go lifetime, you might have some issues. Bought a car that calls for a 0W20. Is it safe or is it too thin? I mean, a lot of people run 0W20 with no problem, but I don't think unless I'm in some super cold area, I'm not running 0W20. I'm putting 5W20 or 5W30 in my stuff. But if you look in an owner's manual, it might say for the United States, it might only give you 0W20. But if you look at an owner's manual from for Mexico or something like that, you might find that you can actually run 2 or 3 different types of oil or more, or weights of oil or more. Yeah, I mean, isn't it like, I thought I remember seeing somebody say as far as back of like the mid 2000s, you could find 0W20 oil in some Japanese vehicles. I think I'd probably run. Where are you from? Dusty, where are you from? Say 2010. Yeah, I figured it was somewhere around there. I thought it was mid 2000s. If you rent a home in Chicago, can a landlord tell you not to use the garage in the home? What would you tell them? No. I'm renting the home. I'm not. The garage is part of the home. I mean, that's weird. How can somebody say that? Maybe if it was written in a lease and you signed the lease, then yes. But even then, why? Unless they're using the garage as a storage, and you have to sign the lease to stay out of their stuff. I don't know about that. I wouldn't sign that lease if it was me. I'd want the garage unless I was hard up and it was the perfect home. Then I might sign it, but that's weird. Honda's using 0W8. Yeah, there's Toyotas too. Toyota started that with like the Toyota Crown or something. In the wintertime, I'd probably use the 0W20, but in the summertime, I'd put 5W30 in it. Burning. Whew. Those Toyota Crowns actually look a little bit sporty for being a little Toyota. Well, they're not actually little. So. Oh yeah, the week went well. I'm getting bored being at home. I don't want to be at home anymore. I want to be working. I wish I had a bigger garage, like a shop, then I would have been working on projects the whole entire time. I got a bunch of stuff done in the house. I got doors put in. We got things painted, things organized. I had the garage organized and cleaned at one point. Now I got to go back in and do it again in the next 2 days. I've gotten too much stuff out to do projects and things like that. Now I just got to tidy back up. It's only going to take me a couple hours. How has your week been? Porsche 25 Porsche 911 last week. Oh yeah, those things are crazy, man. Pretty quick, and it's a hybrid max. I think that's what they call it. It has a two-tone paint job. It looks like a Duracell battery. It's solid, man. I've got to get my last 2 wisdom teeth ripped out tomorrow, So I'm not looking forward to that. Hey, better to get them out than not. Mine grew straight up, so I never had any pain or any problems, so I never had to get them taken out. All right. Last set with back, and then I think I'm calling it quits. Rich, are you ready for the lake effect snow? Sure I am. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm ready for it. Good thing I didn't shave, or good thing I shaved now instead of for no shave November. None of you guys can shave in November, you know that, right? Oh, I don't want to do this last set. Hey. Oh, God. Whew. Kick this heater off. Oh. It's time for a Chicago dog. I wish. I can't. I haven't had any of that stuff in a while. In a while. Oh. That's the toolbox heater from Vivo. Literally, I got a review on it on the channel. But it comes with this exhaust sleeve that goes over the exhaust, which is side mounted instead of bottom mounted like this, like it was before. And all you need is a spot to run it out the door. Everything else is self-contained. It's got a CO2 sensor and stuff on it. You can actually mount the box and everything out the door as well. And then plumb your ducting system in here, like I have right there. You could actually run that from the outside and have it completely outside and just only the hot air coming in. But I was like, why? I've already got a hole in the bottom of that door from when I moved in here. Why not just run the exhaust out that, put the little heat sleeve over it, roll it away when I'm done. I didn't even put any clamps on anything. This roll heater from Vevor, it's got a handle on it you can roll it around with over there. It's got a quick coupler for the hot air tube that comes in. You just snap that on, the tube just snaps on it, so you don't need any clamps for that. And the exhaust, it's got ridges in the exhaust, so I just snapped the exhaust over the port, ran it out. Didn't put a muffler on it because it's super quiet as it is. It doesn't need a muffler. Slapped some diesel in it and started it up. It took me twice to get it started because the first time it was trying to prime air all the air out of the system. But after I started it the second time, it had a startup failure code pop up on that. But I'm already familiar with these. Sometimes it takes one or two times to get all the diesel through and the air out. And then it fired up immediately. And within like 3 or 4 minutes, it was already up to like 160 degrees coming out of the duct. And by like 5 minutes, it was up to 180, 190. It'll get up to about 220 degrees pushing air out of that. So this little unit alone is 10 times better than that one there. I mean, not 10 times. It's better, substantially better. It's quieter, and that little thump sound as it primes the diesel into the system
in the beginning it starts with this one and then it fades away. That one, it just goes the entire time and it never stops. And then there's this one over here I built a box for that I actually put outside, out there, and I plumb that part right there in the door. And I run this from outside the door, and that's the H-Calorie toolbox version. It's got like a door that opens up on the side. But if I had to pick one between that one, the one on the wall, and that one right there, I'd pick that one right there. That moves a lot of air for a small unit. It's super light, and it's the easiest one to put together. Within 3 or 4 minutes right out of the box, you don't even have to follow instructions or anything. Slap the exhaust tube on, put the sleeve on, slap the plastic coupling on, put the tube on, put diesel in it, hit on, away she goes. So I love this heater. It's phenomenal. I'll let it cool down and then I'll move it out of the way and then I'm going in the house. And I'll be out here in the morning and try to do some other kind of workout in the morning if y'all want to join me. It's the Vevor roll heater, or roll cart heater or something like that. It's got a metal frame on the bottom, side exit exhaust, carbon monoxide detector mounted to the side of it. They've updated a lot of stuff about this unit. It's extremely nice. There's no other unit on the market that's like this one. Why can't you shave in November? Because it's no shave November. You know? Us men, we got to do our own thing. No shave November. You never heard that? Would you put a lift on your garage? And which one would you use? If I put a lift in the garage, in this little garage here, I think I only have like 10-foot ceilings here. I would use quick jacks. I'd use like 7,000 pound Vevor quick jacks or something like that. You can get them for like $1,400. You can even buy them on payments if you wanted to. I got them on Temu, for God's sake, the Vevor quick jacks. That's the ones I'd use if I'm working in a little garage like this. I got to get this floor fixed. So next year, it's going to be hell, man, because next year, I got to get all this stuff out of here. This whole garage has got to be gutted because, let me show you. You see this crack right here? When I moved in here, this crack was itty bitty. 3 years later, it's opened up to about a 1/2 inch all the way down. And then right here, it opened up to about 3/4 inch towards the end. And this corner over here, it's settling. That's about a full inch over in that corner where the garage door is up. And then over here, it touches right here. This whole slab on this side, this corner over here, has got to come up. And then it's got to push that corner of the garage back up as well. Because what's happening is that foundation settling right there, it's pulling this whole door that way with it. So now when you look over here, I'm starting to get a gap right here where the garage door isn't sealing anymore. This garage door is supposed to be over here like this. And it's not. It keeps shifting that way because of how that ground is settling over there. And I've asked people to come out, and I asked the guy to come out and see if he could drill the floor all over the place, drill the floor in here and actually use that closed cell injection foam and lift it back up, or use concrete injection. They said that they would not be able to do that on this big of a slab like this, that it wouldn't be possible, that they would have to dig under the side of it, get down into the ground about 7 or 8 feet, find really hard rock foundation, and then they would have to put pillars, big steel pillars that have 24-inch like plates on the top and bottom and a screw jack in the middle, and they'd have to screw the foundation up until it's level, and they would guarantee the work that they did for a lifetime. but they have to dig down in the ground to do it, and it's like 20 grand to get underneath this thing, to put these big pillar screw jacks underneath this thing and lift it back up to support it for the rest of its life. I ain't got that kind of dough to do that kind of stuff. So I asked the guy, I said, what's my other alternative? And he said, the other alternative is you get one of these concrete guys to come in that pours concrete. We do foundation repair. We don't pour concrete. But you go get a concrete guy that you can trust, that pours concrete, that's got good rapport with the community. And what they'll do is they'll take a concrete saw and they'll start on the outside edge, and they'll actually cut all along that wall, all the way up and all the way over. You can have them do half if you want, do half the floor, and basically what you'll do is they'll bust up that side and they'll throw it all out, and then they'll come in and they'll match what's already here, and they'll pour all new concrete on that side. They'll lift the corner of that wall up, and they'll stabilize it with, because this slab and stuff is not attached to it anymore. They can lift up the corner and make sure it's all nice and flat, and then they'll pour new concrete in the middle here. Or you have them just cut out the entire floor all the way around and put a whole new floor in here. And what they do is they use that corking gap or whatever that stuff is, and they'll run it as a channel all the way around so the concrete can expand. And it'll be like you have an outside foundation for your walls, and then you have like a half inch to an inch gap with that spacing material, and then fresh concrete all in the middle. So they said you could do it that way, and that way is probably about $6,500 to re-pour this floor, to cut it out, bust it up, throw it out, and then get a new floor put in here. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to do there. I don't know if it'd be worth just ripping this whole garage down at that point and just having a new garage built, or if pouring a new floor for $6,500 is the best bet. I don't know. So anyhow, I don't know where to go with it. That's where I'm at. All right, let me get this heater out of the way. Jimbo, what's up, man? Why is it? I don't know why this thing keeps rotating. I was looking for these. It's just a poured slab of really old, chunky concrete where they didn't use smooth concrete and stuff back in the day. They used big, giant chunks of rock and everything else in it. I'm almost thinking it would be better to just have the damn thing tore down and have built what I want built here. But maybe I should get some quotes on a garage. Or maybe I should just do the floor. I have no idea. That's what I'm saying, is if I got rid of this, I'd put I'd try to find an equivalent pole barn building, and instead of me stopping where I'm at now, I would actually go, I'd take the 2.5 car garage that I have now, where I think they say this is equivalent to 2.5 car garage, even though it's a 2 car garage, but I'd go back out that way another
probably 8 to 10 feet if I could. And then I'd raise the ceiling up to probably a 15-foot ceiling, something like that. Yeah, something to that extent. And I'd actually have like a 3-car garage right here that I could work out of, where I could park one car and then park one car, 2 cars, whatever, and then I have 1 or 2 working stalls. But where I'm at right now, it wouldn't be worth doing a lot of that because a lot of these homes around here aren't worth that type of money. There is a guy not too far from here that just sold his house. He was asking $550,000 for it, and he had like a 2 or 3 car. It was a 3-car garage workshop. It wasn't just a garage. He actually had a workshop and everything built into it, like polished floors. It had 2 garage lifts, or 2 car lifts in the garage. The basement was completely wood wall finished, like really nice. Looked like almost like a white wood. It had a clear coat on it. It had a wet bar and everything in there. It was complete basement where you can hang out with your buddies, have drinks and stuff like that. It was like a serving station and all that stuff built into it. Then you came upstairs and it had a little mini kitchen on one side of the house, and on the other side of the house, it had a full kitchen, and it was like a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,500 square foot, 2,400 square foot home. It was just immaculate, completely. Like you drive into the drive, and then there's a big iron gate that opens up, and then you pull under the carport, which is like a 20 by 20 or a 30 by 30. And then you could walk right into the house if you wanted, or you can continue driving around back and park your cars in the driveway, or open the garage and pull straight into the garage. And just a gorgeous home. And that guy got $550,000 for his home, but it was actually a newer, very well built home. This house that I'm living in, they wanted like $315 for it, and then over like a certain amount of time, it went down to like $290, and then $255, and then we got on it, and they were trying to go through a divorce and get it over with. We offered them $245. They took $245. We've had the house appraised. It says it's between like $315 and like $330. I've seen as low as $305. So we've got some equity in the house, but at this point, it may be worth just selling the house the way it is, letting it be somebody else's problem, and then taking the money that we have equity wise, and then moving into a bigger house that's everything that we want, because this house is too small for us. We love it. It's a great starter home. We built it up real nice, made it look nice, did some nice tasteful touches to it, put a pool in the back, put a deck in the back around the pool, but it's not where we ultimately want to be permanently. Yeah, I don't. I plan on moving. I actually plan on moving within the next 20 years. I don't want to be here forever. So that's why I'm thinking might be worth just selling it the way it is and letting it be somebody else's problem. I don't know. I don't know. Weezer is a great small town. Like, as in the band Weezer. Remember those guys? Some of you might, some of you may not. Anyhow, I'm going back in. Going back in. Going in the house.
I'm gonna lay down and relax a little bit. If you guys are on in the morning, I'll jump on with you guys. If you guys want to sit, have some coffee for a little bit, I'm gonna work out a little bit in the morning, and then what is tomorrow? Tomorrow, I gotta take daughter to cheerleading practice, and then pretty much the rest of the afternoon I have free. So I'll be around the garage, probably cleaning, doing stuff around here, and then Sunday I'm gonna go spend some time with my mom because it was her birthday today, and I'm gonna go hang out with her for a little bit, make her lunch, dinner or something like that, and just hang out with her. But that's really all I got for right now. Will you file Chapter 7 at the age of 40 or just handle creditors one at a time to rebuild it? Oh, what is, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of trying to handle things and not doing that. But also at the same time, I do see the need for it when you're too far in the hole. I'm no saint. I'm trying to pay off certain debts and stuff as well. I'm just like the rest of you. I got the same issues that you guys got, and I'm digging myself out of a hole very, very slowly. I went through a spree of things that I wanted. That if you bought it through the company and you paid directly to them, you could buy the product for no interest for 12 months. So you're paying the same price as the product. So I'm like, oh, bet. I'll take that $600 grill. I'll take that $2,000 this, that $500 that. Next thing you know, $7,000 or $8,000 later, I'm like, what the hell, man? Where's this $500-600 of extra payments coming every month? Oh, it's because I made a stupid choice because it was no interest for 12 months, and I got all these things over like a 4 or 5 month period that I wanted, and I stupidly did it. And then I'm like, man, I will never, ever do that again. Ever. And I've got that paid down to, I don't know, I think like 1,100, 1,200 bucks. And it's still part of the 12-month. I'm just paying everything off now because I don't want these payments every month on top of what I'm already paying for stuff, bills and food and healthcare and cars and stupid, man. Made poor choices and stuff, and I didn't really pay attention to what I was doing, and I just saw 0% interest, and I was like, that's me. I'm jumping on it. So I'm no saint. I am no saint, man. I feel you though. Bankruptcy for me is kind of a hard thing, and I'm not that type of person to give advice because I don't know everything about that stuff. I'm a firm believer in grunting it out as much as you can and just getting it paid off so it doesn't affect your life and your credit in some kind of negative way. But sometimes you get buried so deep in things that you're never gonna see the light unless you do file bankruptcy. So I yeah, I'm much smarter now with my choices financially, and I see the bigger picture, and I know how to give advice when it comes to like the school of hard knocks stuff. But when it comes to the legalities or like what you should do financially, I may not be the guy for that because I'm. Yeah, yep. Just like Nunn said, that's you got to cut all the extra stuff out, and you just gotta hump it for a while and get these people paid off. Filing for bankruptcy sometimes it can be a nightmare, but then again, it can also be a blessing in disguise. It just all depends on what type of bankruptcy it is, where you're at financially, and where you're going with your life. Yep, that's what I'm talking about, Jay. So you know what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I did. I was like, oh, I'll buy this $600 smoker and I'll have it paid off in 12 months. What's 82 dollars a month? That's nothing. And something else, and then the exhaust system, and then this, and then that. And I'm like, bro, I'm like spending $600+ a month on payments for things that, for one, I didn't necessarily need. I just wanted. And number two, what the hell am I doing? If I die tomorrow, if something happens to me, if I lose everything, how am I gonna pay this stuff? Why did I do that? So yeah, luckily it's all paid off pretty much, and I barely got anything to worry about in that area. But I got a couple credit cards that got to get paid down. I've been paying them down pretty good, that I'm doing all right with. It just all depends, man. Life, shit happens. We're all having these issues, so we just got to try to grind it out together and be there for each other the best we can. Okay, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna grab some stuff for the baby on the way up, and I'm headed up to see the missus and the little Nina, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Dodge Caravan for 15K with 180,000 miles when I got it. And when I surrendered it, the van had 230,000 miles, but the bank only got 2K at the auction. Wow. That sucks, man. Yeah, over something like that, I don't think I'd file bankruptcy. I just kind of lick my wounds at that point, and I would tell the bank, like, look, hey, I'm willing to pay it off. Don't charge this off, because here's what happens. They will charge off that vehicle after they don't get the money from you. They will charge off that vehicle, and it will literally sit on your credit report for the next 7 years. You'll have a repossession, surrendered repossession, same damn thing to them. The repossession will be on your record. It'll say that you owe X amount of dollars, and they will charge it off or write it off as a tax write off, and it will still be on your credit report. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do at that point, because once they claim it as a tax write off, that means they're getting some kind of break, that they've already been given back something on what they lost, which means you can't come in on top of it and pay off what you already owe. Either you start paying it off now and come up with an agreement now, or if they end up writing that thing off and claiming it against their taxes or something like that, you're screwed. It's stuck on your record. Ask me how I know. Like 22 years old, I co-signed on a car for a girlfriend. She reneged on the payments. The car got taken. My name was the primary name on the account. That followed me for 7 or 8 years before that fell off my credit report. And you could still see, I think for up to 10 years, you could still see it there. Now it doesn't show up anymore. In 2016, I bought a 2016 Chevy Malibu for $33,000. It was the 2LT version, so the second to the most loaded Premier Edition. I paid it down to like I want to say I paid it down to like $16,000, $17,000, and then it got stolen by four girls from the city. I don't know if you guys remember the story or not, but four girls, Shaniqua, Davana, Latifa, Shariqua, whatever her name is, and Yavisha. One 15-year-old driving the neighbor's van, they were unloading groceries, decided to take the neighbor's van. And then four of their girlfriends that were all smoking pot together jumped in the van with the 15-year-old, drove down to the gas station. I stupidly was getting out of the car. It was a late night. It was super cold outside. It was rainy. It was like at the end of February. My key fob fell into the cup holder, and I was like, hell with it. I'm just going in, getting a pack of cigarettes and a soda, and I'll be right back out. Let this car sit here and warm up. I could have took the fob with me, but I left it in the cup holder. When I turned around to walk out the door, I look out, and it was parked right in front of the door. There was no car there anymore. The car was gone. They recovered the car about an hour and a half later, after these four girls crashed it at a high rate of speed, exiting out by Chinatown somewhere. The two girls in the back fled. The two girls in the front were knocked out unconscious when the police got there, still in the vehicle. Those two girls received medical care. The two girls in the back got away. And the police couldn't do anything about it because they were underage. And every time they would go to the house to question them, even with a warrant from the, not warrant, but a paperwork from the judge, the mom still has all the rights to the children. The woman, the detective was like, man, I've tried to question them so many times. I tried to figure out why and what and how and who's going to this and that. He said, when I go there, the mom's like, man, you ain't talking to my motherfucking daughter. Who the fuck you think you are? Get away from my house. Get off my step. I ain't talking to you. You ain't talking to my kids. And then I'd have to leave.
By law, I have to leave. I'm being told by the parent that they're not okay with it and that I have to leave, and I leave. And we're trying to get him into court, but we can't get him into court. We're trying to get him in this and that. We can't. None of the parents are cooperating. Finally, they made it into court, and Kimberly Fox threw it all out. Gave them all a slap on the wrist and threw it out and let them go. The biggest piece of shit prosecuting attorney Chicago's ever seen, Kimberly Fox. And it said that I had insurance. Insurance paid out so much value of what it was worth, and I had gap insurance. But it showed that even after the car was paid off, they were still like with fees, impound or not impound fees, the towing fees and all this other stuff. And there was like a laundry list of things that they said that I owed. And they said, you owe like $13,000. I said, bullshit, I owe $13,000. I don't owe shit. I had Gap and I had regular insurance. I'm not paying for that car. I'm not paying for that car. I had Gap and I had regular full coverage insurance on that. I am not paying for that car. Well, guess what? That followed me until about 22, 23. Because who was my insurer? Or who was my finance company? Santander Consumer, the shittiest finance company on the market. They were taking people with $300 and $400 car payments and slowly increasing and jacking them up to like $700, $800 a month, screwing people over left and right. They were in many lawsuits. They're still out there giving people loans, still getting loans through these car dealers and stuff. So, yeah. It took years for that to come off, and I tried to pay it off. I tried to fucking pay it off. I called up the company and I was like, hey, I'll just pay the money. Can I give you like $5,000 now? And can I do like every couple months? I give you a couple $1,000s or something like that until it's paid off. And they were like, no, you can't. And I said, why? And they said, well, once it's charged off, once a vehicle is charged off towards taxes and stuff like that, it's a complete loss for us, or it's a loss. You can't pay back what you owe. You can't make it right anymore because it's already been made right through tax breaks and stuff like that. So, I was looking at Lariat trim 18 to 21 F250s. Yeah, they're good. The 6.2s are nice. The 7.3s are nice. If you can get into a newer one, they got the 6.8s and some of the newer ones. Yeah, but the diesels are nice too. But unless you're going to be towing a bunch, I don't think it's necessary to be owning a diesel. Unless you're going to be towing a bunch and you're going to be working it. Our Kia got stolen 5 months ago. The little punks did $6,300 in damages, and we had just made the last payment on it. We made our insurance pay for the damages. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of the Kia repairs when they've done damage to them. It gets quite expensive. Anyway, I need to get upstairs. Sister filed from bankruptcy and bounced back quick. Yeah, you got to have the right mindset for it. You know, you got to really be somebody that's like, all right, I'm accepting this right now. I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to do the best that I can with it, and I'm going to work it to its fullest. So, anyhow, but those two incidents had brought my credit way down. Like, I'm talking, my credit was down into like the 410, 420s. And then over the last like 8 to 10 years, when I started realizing how important credit is, really the last 5 years the most, I got my credit up to like a 720 or something like that, 710, 720 when I bought this house. And then my credit, after buying this house and putting myself in more debt, my credit went down to 610, 620. And over the last 3 years of paying stuff off and you know, just staying in good standing with my car notes and everything else, I'm back up to like a 700 or something like that. You know, I don't have perfect credit. You know, I struggle just like you guys do. So it's just different. Now you got to do whatever you can to get by. It used to be with social media and my main job and no family, no nothing at all. I was living on the hog. I could go wherever I wanted, vacation whenever I wanted, spend whatever money I wanted. Didn't matter, go gamble when I wanted. But now that I got a family, the economy is fucking atrocious and everything's through the roof and there's no such thing as middle class anymore. Yeah, you need almost 2 people, $100,000 a year plus, in order to make it comfortably. If not, you're going to be struggling. So, anyhow, I'm out. I'm done. I'll see y'all in the morning if you're here. If you're not, then I'll catch you some other time. Take care. Be blessed.